for today. Once again, I guess make sure you're following, liking, turning on notifications for sure. There won't be notifications on X or YouTube this week. I'm sorry about not having the camera on earlier. I hope everybody can find their way back in here. But it is Monday, November 24th, 2025. This is episode number 14 of Addressing the Issues. Another good reminder just to turn on notifications while you're liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, following today, because there will not be notifications this week. I can't find a way to put a post up with the link or anything, so I figured I might as well just do what I can. Got all the stuff what I can use here, so I guess lots has gone on since my show on Friday, where I addressed what I would consider to be the bellwether primaries. One of these is no more. Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote her resignation from Congress effective January 5th, 2016 on Friday. In this resignation, she raged against the uniparty that has sidelined efficiency, mentioning the 8-week shutdown in bills such as no capital gains tax on the sale of primary homes, eliminating H-1B visas, and making it illegal to medically transition a minor, being put on the back burner by the speaker. She wrote about how in her fight for the common American has received no tangibles, just inflated prices in both food and insurance, with quality of life plummeting. She wrote about how in her job as representative, her one job is to represent her constituents, and how she was expected to vote against the best interest of her constituents by the Republicans. The resignation includes how MAGA Inc. was cast aside by the neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class, referring to the ways that her and the common American have been cast out of representation in Washington, D.C. She wrapped up with stating that there's no plan to save the world or insane 4D chess game being played, followed with the idea that the American people are finally waking up to realize and understand that the political industrial complex in Washington is what is truly ripping our country apart. And until the American people are actually represented in Washington, D.C., she will be stepping back from politics. The sad thing is I don't disagree with anything she said in the resignation nor in the 10-minute video posted on X Friday night. This is the real state of the union in America. So while I wish MTG would have stayed and fought, I completely understand her position. Representing your constituents' interest instead of the DC blob must feel like beating your head against a concrete wall. Not to mention the constant attacks on her and her family, including her daughter that's roughly my age. It does get to the point where the threats to her and her family outweigh anything she could possibly do, like getting bills shelved by the speaker and running an election where the president she fought to protect claimed he would support anyone who ran against her. In our second story of today, charges against James Comey and Leticia James were dropped after Judge Cameron McGowan Curry of South Carolina ruled that Lindsay Halligan's appointment was invalid. This represents Judge Curry's claim that these were unlawful exercises of executive power, and the cases would be set aside. This follows claims on Friday that some of the charges filed on James Comey were never brought across a grand jury, meaning Halligan was likely the only person who saw and signed these charges. I hope it's working better now. Obviously, nobody got the notification for the second one, but if you do wander back in here, thank you. And if you're watching this later because I messed up, I'm sorry. We'll figure it out over this next couple of days. Well, we're almost a year in now with no deep state arrests, and now charges were being fumbled on some of the worst offenders. Does Pam Bondi even know what's going on? Can she not find her desk? Can she Is she implicit in the cover-up? Is she part of the deep state that was promised to be dismantled on the campaign trail? I'd argue at this point she's either unfit to serve in the position because she doesn't know how it works, or is actively colluding to make sure that these crimes against the deep state will never be charged. Either way, we're well past the time to figure it out. It's been 10 months. Is it time to start stepping down? But I mean, you may ask yourself, why did it have to be MTG and not Pam Bondi? And I don't have any good answers for you. In another story, the Pentagon is investigating Senators Alyssa Slotkin and Mark Kelly and other members of Congress for their video last week urging members of the U.S. military and intelligence service to not follow orders. Where was this during Operation Arctic Freeze? I guess they only care when it can benefit them, but that's to be expected. The Department of War released an official statement on X earlier today, alluding that Mark Kelly and others may be recalled to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. It claims the proceeding will follow military law, ensuring due process and legality, and that further comment will be limited to ensure integrity of the proceedings. So it sounds like they might actually be pressing charges here, or at least intend to. The statement reminds all military retirees that they remain subject to Uniform Code of Military Justice for applicable offenses, listing Title 18 United States Code Section 2387 regarding prohibiting actions intending to interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces. So it sounds like the Department of War may want to recall these military retirees in Congress and summon them to a military tribunal. These courts have different standards for submission of evidence than a traditional civilian court. But I think this is a good idea just to make sure nobody is emboldened to use their position of power in government and military to instill chaos in the ranks of our military, the best military in the world. And if we want to maintain this military, we cannot have activists using their position in government to instill chaos and doubt throughout the ranks. So I think this is a good step from the Pentagon. I hope they will at least make sure nobody does it in the future. For the last story today, the Department of Government Efficiency has disbanded central operations 8 months ahead of schedule. This isn't necessarily the end of DOGE, but members have been integrated in the other government agencies, such as the Office of Personnel Management, Department of Health and Human Services, and others. In these agencies, they will not only be set up to weed out waste, fraud, and abuse, but also deregulation and workforce changes. I don't think about this as DOGE going away. I would think about it more as the DOGE program being in the state that it's like a distributable code or formula, and it can be plugged into each agency to manage wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars on government. This could help them become more acquainted with the programs they're rooting out and familiarizing themselves with the way that they are abused. So yeah, once again, guys, I'm sorry for the issues in the first stream. Obviously, I didn't have the camera working, the mic working, apparently. But hopefully, I will have that fixed for tomorrow. We'll have a better show. I've been kind of busy today. Spent way too long playing with these cameras for them not to work the first try. But I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. I know today was a little short, but we'll get better on that over this week. Just because it's a little different of a setup. I don't have all the equipment I normally would, but we'll figure it out, and hopefully I'll be more efficient with my time tomorrow. Won't be getting a haircut. I hope you guys like it. I think it looks silly, but we'll get over it. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, turn on notifications so you'll get notifications tomorrow. I won't be sending them out on social media more than likely. But yeah, that's what we have for today. To all my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you guys get home safe as well. Finish up your workday strong. Yeah, that's all we have for today. See you guys again tomorrow at 4:45 Eastern. We'll be going through Wednesday this week and then back to normal schedule, hopefully Monday next week. Thank you.